Podcast character designs done by Demon Artie. Be sure to follow her over on Twitter at ArtieDemon. Carmen Sandiego, Season 3, Episode 4, The Masks of Venice Caper. And what really saves this episode is the heart. That's where I love that the most, when you get like those character moments where they're just people and you get two brothers and, you know, the conflicts they had in the past. And it's just, it could be about anything. It doesn't have to even be about, you know, them stealing masks or doing anything. This works in every situation. And then we get a couple nice lines from Carmen about family and everything. Everything else, the action's okay. I really don't like Neil the eel. I know it's just slimy, he's gross to me, and slippery. I just don't like it. Chase kind of has a little bit of a character moment too. So that's what really saves this episode are those small moments. But overall, it's just okay. And kind of at the end, you get that kind of foreboding, like, ooh, what the hell is this guy talking about? But we're going to jump right into the episode, and we have, it's just so weird to me that the Vile, they kind of backstepped into like cartoony, like, really it's a cartoon, but where they're being almost silly. Remember how in the previous season when Cerebellum was going to let off that EMP that was going to shut down the whole city, and they're talking about like, yeah, it's going to kill people in hospitals and planes are going to follow this guy. They're going to like kill people. They were going to steal nuclear launch codes. That's like super villain stuff. Now they're kind of back to like, we like to eat candy. why this childlike approach when they had, I don't know. So they have leftover candy for Halloween, and because they bought a bunch, Coach bought a bunch because she thought they're going to get trick-or-treaters. Why is this in the episode? I don't know, whatever. But I guess Cleo's, this is her going to be her heist. And I guess everything's been about masks. So remember when the Luchador episode, the last one in the Bayou, so it's all like Halloween masks and disguises. What's the deal with the theme? But maybe it plays in the next episode. I don't know. But so they head to Venice and they're going to steal all these masks. And of course, our crew, Carmen and her crew, get wind of it. Then we get her edutainment, which I always love. They talk about Venice, how it's an island, how it's connected by a bunch of bridges, and you don't see cars because they use the waterways. And they talk about the celebrations, all the different kinds of masks. Some are scary, some are beautiful. Okay, all good stuff. All they have is just that basic hunch that Val's going to do something here. Not the biggest place in the world, but it's kind of convenient how they always kind of run into each other. And this right here, this is everything. This is the whole entire show.
Besides, the more good people I manage to meet in this crazy world, the more I'm reminded that family comes in many forms.
I, for one, cannot argue with your sentiment.
Look at that smile. That's everything. Oh my God, do I love this smile so much, because it's honest, it's sincere, it's real. This is, this is a smile you give a family member that, like, I trust you. Thank you for being there. I'm glad I have you in my life. This right here. Oh my God, I'd kill everybody in the room for this smile right here. Oh my God, I love it so much. Get to Chase, and remember his screw up last time wearing banana costume idiot. The chief's like, hey, you kind of messed up all on your own, so I'm going to send you a new partner because, Julia's not part of Acme anymore, which is kind of sad. And it's Zarya, which was her old partner, and she's all business. And I like how Chase is like, oh, I hope she didn't slow me down. And then she has the same attitude too towards him, because he's kind of an F-up and almost like a joke to all the other agents, because they seem to be professional while he's kind of, he's just a loose cannon of sorts. He just kind of runs around, does whatever he wants. It was a little rude when he like tried to go shake her hand, just basically a good morning, and she just walks right past him. Okay, yes, he's a mess up, but it's not, it doesn't give you the excuse to be rude to somebody. But then, they're going to be partners. And so she looks like she's going to be taking charge, because just like when she was Julia, she was the, not to say the one in charge, but she was the more serious one. Back to the Carmen's crew, and they're just kind of walking around and talking about stuff. And of course, Zach's an idiot, but it's not too much in this episode. He's like, oh, pizza, but it's the piazza, it's the plaza, but he thought it was pizza. Oh, he's an idiot. Then they see this poster for all these different masks from around the world. So like, oh, that must be the target. Okay, I guess that's all right. Then they just see Mind Bomb just doing his thing. They just run into him. I think they're running out of interesting ways to have the characters run into each other, and instead of having it be part of like the actual episode, they just so happen to run into each other. I hate that. It's lazy. Ugh. And you notice how he has that little cat, that other caper where they were hiding the stuff. It was Mind Bomb and Tigress. It's still the same little cat. It's the same one. I'm assuming it's the same one. They see him, and instead of like hiding right away, they stand there so Mind Bomb sees them too, and then he takes off. This point on, we get like this chase scene. It's a time waster. Let's be honest, guys. It is an absolute just waste time. Get it to 22 minutes or whatever so we can fill up a whole episode because it's kind of pointless and doesn't even lead to anything. Then we see the second operative, which is Neil, and he's like wearing, like tourists with the big hat and the stupid shirt. Looks like an idiot. So Shadow Son and Carmen are after Mind Bomb. Zack and Ivy are going to be after Neil. And remember, Neil was able to kind of go toe-to-toe with Shadow Son, like in fighting. These two chuckleheads don't have no sign of chance. But it's a chase, so they're chasing after him. And they've done this effect a couple of times where they're running down like a corridor and then like it's moving past, kind of like in a 3D look. It's kind of cool. It's not as cool as it was when they were in the speedboats, but it looks all right here. So they're running through the corridors, bouncing around, doing their thing, wasting time. Oh, they got stuck together because they're whatever. They try to like grab Neil. That's not going to work. And he just keeps slipping out of it, making them look like fools. Mind Bomb's running, jumping across stuff. And of course, Carmen has her grapple hook, so she's able to like get the high ground, which is super cool. And superhero landing.
You're gonna do superhero landing. Wait for it. Woo! Superhero landing. Yeah, that's really hard on your knees.
She looked freaking amazing. I love it. So she's out there. Shadow Son got separated by the river. She's still chasing him down. They keep trying to stop Neil, but he's super slippery, literally almost impossible to get a hold of. They need to like get some flour or some type of binder, sawdust or something to dry this guy out because they're not going to be able to just grab him. They try to pin him down. He slips back out. They're making stupid puns. He ends up getting away. Carmen ends up losing Mind Bomb, and they got away in a little gondola thing. So there we go. That was a waste of 5 minutes. That didn't lead to anything. They go right below where Zarya and Chase are. So it's kind of like, you just look down, you would have seen it, but I don't necessarily know if they know all the Vile operatives, but they were literally feet away from them. Then, of course, Chase is always trying to sound like the cool guy, always trying to like play himself up. Zarya keeps making banana puns. I'm like, oh, she's making fun of his costume. And he's like, oh, you heard about that? She's like, yeah, everyone knows about that. And it's like, Chase kind of feels bad. Look at this. Because you're an idiot. Why did you pick such a clumsy costume? And he's like, why don't you could have just worn a mask. Then he sees the advertisement for the mask. Like, oh, the masks here are very valuable. They'll probably be the things that are going to be the targets going to be stolen. And she's like, oh, that's pretty good observational skill. So that was a good thing that he kind of brought that up, and he's not a bad investigator detective guy. He can do it because remember, he found Vile Island. It got blown up, but he found out where it was. He just needs to get his own head out of his butt and get the job done instead of worrying about how cool I look and I want the credit. He got to get that out of his mind, and he can be an actual really good freaking Acme agent. Our team is taking a tour just to kind of get a look at all the different masks and everything. And they're from all over the world. So I thought it was going to be just a Venice thing, but it's like masks of the world. So they're all the different kinds of countries. And there's one from Japan. And it's like a classic, the ones the samurai would wear. And he's like, oh, yes, they're from all over the world. And we have experts from all the different places to talk about them. Of course, he's going to think about his brother. We get a cool little flashback, if you guys didn't see it, that he returned the swords. And the two swords got separated. It was the Daisho Caper favorite episode. Still my best episode so far of the whole entire series. He returned the sword, but it's the dishonor on the family to be a thief. And his brother did not accept him. He took the sword, but he did not accept him back into the family. Shadow Son, look at his face. He's sad because he wants to be with his family, with his brother again. Who's the expert from Japan? It's his brother. So he sees him there and so he feels even worse. I'm going to steal from my brother again. So he has that conflict. That's the plan. They're going to steal the masks before Vile does. And then, of course, then give them back. They see that Acme's on the thing. So Acme's there and they're like planning out like security and stuff. So that's another little monkey wrench in the plan. It doesn't really add up to anything. They don't really do. You think they would have sent a whole mess of agents. You see more later, but whatever. Zack and Ivy are like, hey, why don't we just tell Acme and let them handle him? We just skedaddle. Let's get out of here. Let them handle the masks. She's like, I don't know. I could trust Jules, Julia, but I don't know about Chase. I don't know if I can trust him yet. So we gotta, this has to be on us. Look how beautiful the shot is. It's there for like 2 seconds. Look at that. Look at the architecture, the view. It's absolutely beautiful. And then we have Shadow Son and he's lamenting having to steal. And he's like, I'm going to steal from my brother again. I'm going to bring more dishonor onto my family. And then, Carmen comes out and we're not stealing, basically stealing so the other bad people can't get it, then we're going to give it back. And no one's going to even know it's you. He's like, my brother's not going to know that. He's going to think it got stolen under his watch. Not only did he lose that sword all those years ago, he's going to lose these masks too. So he does not feel very comfortable. And we see it later on in the episode where he messes up a little bit, like Shadow Son messing up. But this is his brother, his family. So he has all these feelings and emotions, but he basically agrees and he's like, okay, we got to do this. We got to keep it from Val, because once Val gets it, then it's gone. They're going to be gone forever. So they're going over security detail, Acme, and this lady, a little too much detail for her not to be important in some way. She doesn't do anything in this episode, but she's kind of giving the security detail. So I'm wondering if she's going to be a recurring character, because she looks like the camera was on her a little too long. We have Chase is talking to all the curators and all the security officers. This is the person we're looking for, is a Carmen Sandiego, and these are her accomplices. And then he sees his brother, and he's like, oh, jeez, that it breaks his heart. Shadow Son's heart's breaking. I love that stuff. The drama, that's great. That's what saved this whole episode. That whole dynamic. Then we get another absolutely wallpaper-worthy screenshot. Look how freaking cool that is. So they're all dressed up and ready to go. And doesn't Zach look so smart in those glasses? I like Zach in glasses. He looks really cool. So everyone's like checking in, Red Leader checking in. So they're all there ready to go. And they're going Assassin's Creed mode. It's so Assassin's Creed. It just makes me smile. I love this little black and red mask with the gold accents. Super cool. Looks great on her. Again, like I said, everything looks great on Carmen. We have Shadow Son and Carmen are going to be jumping from rooftop to rooftop. They're going to basically going and doing the stealing. Of course, Player is going to be knocking out security systems. And Zach's going to be like interference on the inside. He's going to pretend to be like a guard. So they're running in everything. Look how cool. All this is so freaking awesome. And Zach, he doesn't elevate himself to the level of how like Ivy got that really big save the day moment previous season, but he does a really good job here of being like pretending to be a security guard. And he has a pretty good fake accent, and he's like, oh, the museum is closed, and of course they're like, no, not to us. So he's basically gonna lead them away from where they're stealing the masks. He does a pretty good job. They have a real security guard, and he's just walking around. And why scare him? was it necessary to scare him, Carmen? You could have just knocked him out, but he gets a little spooked, and then Shadow Son just kind of nerve pinches him and knocks him out. So, okay. Time to start the stealing. They've taken out all the pressure-sensitive locks and everything. They're getting the stuff, and they're putting them into crates. Shadow Son grabs a mask, and he like almost drops it. And I'm as shocked as Carmen's like, what the hell? Shadow Son make such a simple mistake? She's like, it's okay. No one's going to know it's you. Don't worry about your brother. Because that's literally all this is weighing on his mind. But he's like, I'm doing it again. I'm going to break my brother's heart, bring more dishonor onto my family. But you're doing it for a good reason. They're going to continue the thing. And then there's Zach's showing off the masks. And I'm like, what? These are the same masks. Oh, there's it's distraction. He's like, oh. And he's like kind of giving like a tour. And I thought this was actually pretty awesome. She's asking him all these questions because Zara is an actual investigator and like smart person. She's asking him all these questions. He like doesn't have the answers. And then he's like pretends to not to know English. She's like, oh, my English isn't very good. And then she starts speaking in Italian. I'm like, oh, geez, Zach is effed, because Zach can drive and he's kind of, a goofball. I know for a fact he does not know any other language. He can barely speak English. He starts to answer in Italian. I'm like, holy crap, homeboy knows Italian. But it's Player is in his ear giving him what to say. I'm like, okay, man, Player is Johnny on the spot with saving his butt, because she asks him all these different questions and like where he's from and everything. So he's like answering it. Kind of buys it a little bit, but not really. So Zarya's gonna check out a different area. Then he's gonna be sticking with Chase. They're looking at fake masks, basically distraction. And now they're finishing up getting the rest of the masks in there. And there's the samurai one. And we get hesitation, and he's kind of feeling nervous. He hears his brother's voice, and he just closes his eyes, and he's like, why, God, why? Why me? Turns around, and he knows it's his brother who takes his mask off. So look how he's looking down. He's ashamed. He just feels like this immense shame. Then we get the actual vial operatives are breaking in. So Neil breaks in. Here's the thing. Mind Bomb's funny, but you need to communicate. So if something's happening to you, he's not going to be able to like talk because he's constantly being like a mime. It actually leads to a situation where he gets Neil in trouble. If you just talked, he could have saved your buddy, whatever. So he breaks in. So he's making his way there. And we get back to Shadow Son's talking to his brother. And he's trying to explain the situation. But of course, his brother doesn't believe him. And he's like, did you call the police? He's like, no more. I don't want to bring any further dishonor on my family. So they're kind of having this And just like how last time, it's just not working out. He's just, I can't believe my brother's stealing again, more shame. But then Carmen's like, there's more to what is going on here. It may look like, it looks like we're stealing, but I promise you, things aren't the way that they look. Then they try to explain to him that they see the real vile operatives, like, here, look, we're trying to steal these things so the real bad guys, the real thieves don't get to him. And he sees Mind Bomb, and she shows it to him, and he's like, what's like a street performer? What does that has to do with anything? Shadow Sun's like, you don't understand. We're trying to save these paintings, and like there has to be a different way than stealing. It's like, it's the only way we can do in the short time that they have. Then he's like, oh, you're just trying to distract me so your buddy can steal things. And it's Neil, and he's like, haha, I got one of the masks. He only got one of them. So he's trying to take off, and then we kind of get a fight. But the strength of Neil is that he's slippery. He's not the best fighter in the world. He's a competent fighter, but his elusiveness. So Shadow Sun's trying to fight him, but of course, he's dodging and slipping around and doing all that kind of stuff. And but the point is not to beat him, is to get that mask back. So he grabs the mask, throws it to Carmen, and then I see like an electric shock, and I'm like, oh my god, it's Crackle, it's Graham, he's a bad guy again. But no, I guess he has a little shock fist thing, so the electric eel. So I'm like, oh, okay, because I don't want Graham to become a bad guy. No, he needs to stay good. So I'm like, okay, thank goodness for that. Then he sees that, well, they're fighting, so obviously they're not working together, and he sees his brother getting hurt, and he doesn't want to see that, so he's gonna like try to run there and do something. And Carmen's like, stay here, hold the mask, I'm gonna take care of this. Stupid. See, they start doing these kinds of things where instead of it being like a cool action scene, it's like a silly thing. She like throws olive oil at him, and then he slips all over it. Okay. That's such a lame way to get rid of your villain, but whatever. It's really dumb. But okay, this whole season just has weird stuff like this where it's like, okay, this isn't My Little Pony. You can be, I'm not saying I need to drag out bare knuckle fight, but it can be better than this. Okay, moving on. So they get the mask back. He's slipping around. He's bouncing around like a friggin' pinball, which is super funny. Then they return the mask. So the brother's starting to realize, he's like, okay, they are the good guys. And, that's when he says, there must be better ways than stealing. He's like, that's all we know. We got to do it the way that we know how. We get back to Zach is still keeping the facade of this being where the masks are. And he's like saying all this boring information. Remember I used to say to Julia, boring, useless information. He bumps into the thing and catches the mask, and he realizes, holy crap, this is like a fake souvenir. So they know they've been these being tricked. So then like he looks back up, and then Zach's gone. And, oh, jig's up, I'm out of here. Then they're securing all the masks. They're putting them into crates. Zara shows up, and she's like, freeze. And of course, they can't use real guns. They have that little gas gun, which does make sense, because I remember someone was saying this in the comments. I forget who it was, but they're like, oh, remember when Chief was just an agent and she shot and killed Carmen's father? They had real guns. Now that she's the head of Acme, no one uses a real gun. So that's like her way of trying to say, okay, no one's going to make the mistake that I made. I'd rather lose a criminal than end up killing an innocent person. Cool. They never say that in the actual show, but it does make sense that none of the agents have real guns. They just have like these gas guns. Super cool. I love that idea. Makes perfect sense. Freeze, Carmen Sandiego, and then whoever your partner is, because they don't know who Shadow Sun is. Like a boss, Shadow Sun's brother like knocks her out, and he's like, oh, I didn't have any olive oil. And then she sees like, wait a second, that was like the security people that were helping us. And he's like, what's going on? You're fighting the thieves and you're fighting the cops. Like, what's the deal? It's complicated. And I'm going to just play this clip.
Law enforcement.
Like I said, not everything is as it seems.
Was the animation super choppy and like awful? It's like for 2 seconds, but the way Carmen was moving, because normally the animation in this show is actually really good, and the art's unique and the animation's always top notch. This little scene, it just looked awful. Whatever. So now they're going to get the masks out of their son starting to come up. Neil gets to Mind Bomb, and Mind Bomb doesn't do anything this whole entire episode. I don't even really know, because he was waiting outside. He opens up the thing. He's like, wait a minute, we're going to do plan B. So whatever plan B happens to be. They start to run out. That first guard that got knocked out by Shadow Sun wakes up. He sees Neil. He calls it in. So now we have now they know that they're being robbed. I do like how Chase goes over to Zarya, and he like kind of grabs her. Oh, are you okay? Isn't it, kind of like a hero? Like, look at this. That's a hero thing, right? Like you grab the down partner. Is everything going to be okay? I love it. Carmen Sandiego. Oh, and he's like, he's going to chase after. He's going to go get her. Shadow Sun is lowering the masks to the boat, and they're gonna take the boat off and get the masks away from the museum. And doesn't Carmen just looks so cool? Look at that cool pose. She's all hanging on the rope. She's such a badass. And then, we have Shadow Sun's up there, and he's talking to his brother, and he's like, this is also very complicated. He's like, don't worry, brother. We'll take care of the masks. We'll get them back to the museum. But it'd be best if you just go, because I don't want the authorities to see you with me, then try to link you into thinking you're part of the heist and everything. Just get out of here, because I don't need to have you get in trouble with me. If anyone's getting in trouble, it's going to just be me. Super cool bros, man. Then they're taking off, and Chase kind of being, I want to say a mild badass. He sees him, he jumps down, he bounces off like an awning, but everything's sloppy. His hair's all messed up. He starts to chase after Carmen, Neil, and Mind Bomb get in their boat. They start chasing him, so we got a 3-way chase here. It's okay. 2 chase scenes in one episode. I do like how Chase is chasing them, and he's running, and he's like hauling butt. He's trying to jump the fence, but he's not the best acrobat. But he's doing okay. Gets over the fence, just misses him. He's chasing him. He's running. He's like out of breath. I guess they just the chase isn't that great. So Mind Bomb and Neil are chasing after Carmen. The canal split. They get in front of her. They basically corner her, just give us the mask and you get the hell out of here. This is when it's like, why don't the bad guys have guns? I know why the Acme agents don't use guns, but why don't they just get rid of Carmen? They steal the masks back. I'm like, whoa, Carmen didn't even put up a fight. Oh, it was a fake. So they took like the fake masks and they still have the real ones. Zarya's waking up. He says, I need a report. Chase, what's going on? It's like, oh, I'm in hot pursuit. I'm chasing after Carmen Sandiego. She starts coming back the other way. He starts running back. He's chasing after her. So he's been running, like sprinting. So he's like dying. Look how screwed up he is. But he kind of starts to catch up to her. Zarya sees her. And this scene was in the trailer for this season. He jumps the bridge and we're like, oh, he's going to totally miss. No, he gets on the boat, but he's completely out of breath. He's like, literally, like a little kid could get away from him. He's literally completely out of breath. And then she's like, this is her moment of maybe trusting Chase a little bit. The masks are there. Make sure they get back to the museum and make sure they look at all the points of entry because it was way too easy to break into this museum. He's like, what? He's like, yeah, but I got to get out of here. She takes off and then he looks back and sees all the masks and he's like, maybe she is bringing them back, because he starts to remember what Julia would always say, Carmen Sandiego isn't stealing these things. She's bringing them back. Oh, but what sense does it make for a thief to return goods that she stole? Like, it makes no sense. He's starting to get it. And then she's like, I didn't do it by myself. I'm like, holy crap, all those times Julia was getting help from Carmen. We see the masks were saved and Zara's like, hey, good job, Devino. And then even he has a little moment of humility. He's like, well, I didn't do it alone. So cool. That's a cool character moment for Chase. He's starting to grow up a little bit and starting to realize she isn't stealing these things. She's stealing them technically, but she's not keeping them. She's returning them. Get back to Mind Bomb and Neil. They open up the crate and they realize all the masks are fake. See, this is the stupid crap that Mind Bomb needs to be disciplined, because you don't need to be silent all the effing time, you freaking idiot. He sees Acme agents coming, but he's not telling Neil. He's like doing like little charades, and he takes off, jumps in the water, and then by the time Neil turns around, the cops are already there. And these cops have tasers, and he's like, don't tase me, bro. He totally gets arrested. Oh, good job, freaking Mind Bomb, you doofus. You could have just been like, hey, bro, we gotta get the hell out of here. Cops are on us. Nope, he's gonna try to do charades. He jumps out of the water. They get over the radio. There's still one person on the loose. And we finally see him without his makeup and got a creepy, this is one creepy dude. Like the freaking Joker. My goodness, look at that creepy smile. Then we get the brothers moment. And, they're talking. He's like, well, I don't really approve of what you're doing with the stealing, but I see that you're doing it for a good reason. His brother finally understands. You're a samurai in ninja clothing. You're doing samurai work, but as a ninja. So you're having to use the shadows, deception, stealing, all those things that are dishonorable, but you do have that samurai soul in you that you're doing it for a good reason. So I thought that was super cool. I can't welcome you home yet. His brother's kind of sad. He's like, well, you have work to do. I'm like, oh, my little heart. And he's like, my place is with her for now. And damn it, that smile. Oh my God, that smile kills me. I'll do anything for that smile. Look at that. It's everything to me. I love it. But he's like, tells his brother, so they accepted each other. They bow and it's a sign of respect. And it's like, okay, cool. Shadow Sun's got his family. This is what scares me. Now that he has his family back, his brother, is he going to die? They kill Shadow Sun No, because Carmen already lost the father, and then Shadow Sun's like a second dad. No, he does. No, I don't want anything bad to happen to Shadow Sun. He finally has the family. You know, he has a real family. He has a family with Carmen. It's like a blood family, and then he has the family that you make, and the family that you find, and the family that finds you. So I love it, but it just gives me the feelings of like, oh no, I hope nothing bad happens. We get back to Vile headquarters, and then they find out that Neil got arrested, and like, oh damn, that's no good. But then Roundabout's like, oh, it's not a problem. I'm like, what do you mean? Oh, he'll be out of jail soon. Because this guy has like connections. He's like way up there in Interpol, I think, or Scotland Yard. I forgot exactly where he was from, but he's way up there in the government. I'm gonna get Carmen Sandiego too, because I'm gonna get it with an impossible heist. And he has that smile. Boom, end of the episode. One more episode left. While this season has just been okay, there's always moments in each episode that have that have the heart, the themes of family, the themes of going the distance for them, going and doing that, you know, what's right by your family. And she still has that duty to stop Vile from selling stuff. Even though she's looking for her mom, she didn't stop stopping Vile. Like, it didn't become the only thing that she did, which is cool because Carmen understands. I want to see my mom, but it's more important to save these works of art, this the history, the masks, whatever it happens to be. She's willing to forego her own happiness to help other people. I just absolutely love Carmen. She's just an amazing character. But yeah, one more episode to go. I'm going to knock that out before we get to the next season starts in January. I forget, but it's pretty early on, so I definitely want to get that done. And yeah, and that's the last season. They confirmed that's the end of the series, which is sad to only really get. Really only get 3 seasons because it's just the second. I think it's only 8 episodes. So it's like the second half of season 3. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I know it's been a long time since I got to the reviews, but I'm going to start getting back into cartoon reviews now that I'm all caught up because Mandalorian's done and catching up on Trek. So I only have that one show a week that comes out new. But yeah, leave in the comments below. Did you like this episode? Did you like me? Was it the family stuff? That's what really got to me. That was my favorite part of the episode. And Shadow Sun getting his brother back. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share it around. That really helps with the algorithm, especially if you guys leave comments and stuff. And super cool. Love all of you. And catch you guys on the next one.
My place is with her for now.